Hello YouTube, ValleyGirl5678 here. It's the last day of Pride Month. The air quality's terrible in New York. If you're wondering what my shirt says, it is a self-made shirt that I wore to the Eras tour. It says, "That's fine, I'll tell mine you're gay." An OG Taylor Swift self-titled debut lyric. Originally, the lyric in Picture to Burn that says, "That's fine, don't mind if I say by the way," was, "That's fine, I'll tell mine you're gay." This was written in, 2004? 2005, a time when calling someone gay was an insult. Now I feel like it's almost like a compliment. Some call this Picture to Burn homophobic version, but others call it Picture to Burn gay version. And I think you can put two and two together of which version I call it. Many are hoping Taylor will use this lyric in Taylor's version of Picture to Burn. It's super interesting, says so much about the culture. But at the time it was like an insult to like call someone gay, but now it's like, yeah, and what if I am? I slay the house down, boots down.
Queen skinny legend Versace boots the house down. Slay queen hunty mama and oop daddy work. Charlie X, yes, snatch my wig.
Anyways, I'm getting way off topic. I thought this would be an appropriate shirt to wear for today's album review, which is of this new Kim Petras album, Feed the Beast. This is technically Kim's debut album. It's her first LP, I guess, but it follows her iconic 2022 EP Slut Pop, which followed her also iconic 2020 Turn Off the Light mixtape. In both of these projects, Kim very ingeniously utilized pop music trends from the early 2000s to 2010s to create something incredibly fresh, unique, and exciting. These two projects put Kim on the map as kind of like one of the biggest ones to watch. And while the statement might be up for debate, I think these two projects are the things that brought her to the mainstream. Her uniqueness and creativity and slay brought her to the mainstream. So naturally, this new album, Feed the Beast, brings a little disappointment. When you look at this album as a whole, it seems like Kim is very much in her commercial success attempt era, and she is at the perfect place in her career to reach that goal. But one thing that I think a lot of people that are even in the music industry don't understand, because they are ultimately in the industry, they're not in the culture consuming it, is that the recipe for commercial success is not the same as it was 10 years ago. This album is incredibly surface level. It's a collection of songs, of which half sound like they were made in 2013, 10 years ago. Like King of Hearts, Thousand Pieces, Claws, Castles in the Sky, they lyrically and production-wise give nothing, or at least nothing new. Sex Talk is an incredibly boring song. After she made Slut Pop an EP solely on the subject of sex in such an ingenious way. So the song Sex Talk feels like a complete, almost regression. The song Minute also sounds like it was made in 2013. However, the vocals do slay on this one, and the production definitely isn't the worst on the album. It is listenable to me. But for me, Kim Petras, I never thought I would use the word listenable to describe one of her songs, you know? And then the only song to me that sounds like it was made 10 years ago, but in a slay way, is Hit It From the Back. This is the only song that I feel like successfully utilizes the sonic aesthetics of that era to make something, slay for the year 2023. A few songs sound like they were made, in this decade. The two non-feature singles, Coconuts, which is honestly the best song on this album, and Burr, which is definitely not the best song on this album, but is kind of a personal favorite of mine. The only song on this album that I hadn't heard before that I liked is track 5, Uh-Oh, but there's a line in this song where she says, "Everything I drop is a banger." And up until this point, I would have agreed. So the levels of irony are sad. The features are okay, which is sad given that it's Nicki Minaj and Banks, a personal fave artist of mine. But on Both Alone, which was a single obviously, and Bait feat Banks, the features kind of steal the show. I think Bait is an okay song, but I think it's because Banks is on it. I think her backing vocals and her verse make the song good instead of just meh. And then obviously Nicki's verse on Alone is not her best verse, but it's not her worst one either. And compared to what Kim is doing on this song, I look forward to Nicki's verse. There's only one song on here that sounds like it could have been on the Turn Off the Light EP, and that's Revelations. But just like the majority of the songs on this album, it's so lyrically boring that I just lose interest. And then of course Unholy is tacked on the end of this album. I get doing it from a marketing perspective, but I also feel like it's almost doubling down on the album being a collection of songs and nothing more. And yeah, it's just ironic to me. Kim basically took her foot off the pulse with this album. It was on the pulse. It was ahead of the pulse, if that's possible. And obviously Dr. Luke isn't all over this album, but he's still there. And she doesn't need him. In fact, she's better off without him, and this album absolutely proves that. And it's the last day of Pride Month, and I just don't want to have to give like a mediocre review for Kim Petras' debut album. But I also am not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. With all of this said though, this obviously isn't the worst album ever made. It's just that Kim has set the bar so high for herself, and that has backfired here. With all that said, I'm gonna give this album a 5. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to check me out on Instagram and TikTok, linked below. If you want to see my reaction to this album, as well as the other reactions to the albums that I review on this channel, you can check out my Patreon linked below. And if you want to get to know who I like actually am, see reactions to like new music videos and singles that have been coming out. I just reacted to the new Olivia Rodrigo music video for Vampire. You should check out my Sunroom, which is also linked below. On there I also do like custom experiences, so I'll do like album recommendations, I can make you a playlist, we can DM, and just in general I post way more about like my actual life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for the Speak Now Taylor's version reaction that is coming next. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, let me know what you thought about this album in the comments, and I will see you soon.